Hello, replay people. Welcome to this morning's beach report. I'm not at the beach. I tried. I tried it really hard. But I am in a controlled environment with Wi-Fi and no wind. But there's a dog here who could start barking at any moment. So I asked for grace for that one because I am dog sitting this weekend. And sometimes dogs bark. And this one's a big barker because he's sitting in front of a window and he is just waiting to look at something. So, hello and welcome to today's beach report. There's nobody on right now, so I'm speaking to you, my replay people. The beach report is usually, well, I try to get to the beach every day, but for some reason, I have been having audio difficulties with YouTube. Not with Facebook, just with YouTube. So I don't know what's going on. And I don't see anybody on yet either. So that's kind of weird as well. What's going on with YouTube? I've been on for 1 minute and 38 seconds. And there's nobody. That's not normal. Wait, there we've got one person. Hello, is there anybody out there? I still have my crazy beach hair. Should probably take it out of this thing. It's really matted. No, it's not matted. Anyway, so I did want to I lost that one person. I'm just gonna start to play Melania's statement for you. Although I need you to be live so that you can at least hear it if you didn't hear it yesterday, because it's really interesting. And I wanted to talk about, it's not really about politics, but it is about how reputations get built and destroyed over time. That's what I'd like to talk about today. And Melania Trump did something that most people don't do that. It was a very bold move. And I want to break it down. Hey, Overwatch, you have had it. What are you deeply concerned about, Overwatch? I know you brought it up, so I'm glad because I've also been thinking about it too. It's very interesting. And I'd like to talk about it. So glad people are coming on now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's beach report. Hi, OG. I'm sorry I could not. I have heard it. Okay. I am not at the beach now because it's just so windy and I'm not getting good reception when I am out in the wild. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam. Oh, thank you. I do have my coffee. Ask and you shall receive. Thank you, Booma. Thank you for the coffee. I drink instant coffee, by the way. It's super easy to make. And I always put baking soda in my coffee because it cuts down on the acid. So, Phil, I have not gotten good reception last night. I tried to do that concert in on Clematis in West Palm Beach. It was horrible. Why do you come on and tell us about your preferences? We don't care. We don't care at all. Anyway, so last night I tried to do that concert and it wasn't any good and people were coming on telling me they couldn't hear and what good is a concert if you can't hear? And it's a shame because it was a great concert. Well, I'm going to address it right now, Overwatch. I did a lot of thinking about it and research and we're going to talk about it. You don't address things as she did if there is no there. Get what I'm saying? You allow God's will and the truth to prevail if innocent. I hear you. That's why I want to talk about it. Thank you for subscribing. I greatly appreciate that. What does that mean, Aryan, though? Um, Also, please be respectful. I'm not sure what that means, but just be respectful because if you want something else, go to OnlyFans. That is not the Beach Report. Okay, so you're gonna get kicked off if you keep talking like that. I'm not in a dating, this is not a dating show. So actually, I'm just gonna kick you off right now. I'm gonna hide you so you can watch, but you need to be silent. My positive thought for the weekend. Well, I do wish that people would stop thinking about matters that they have no control over, like war and politics. Focus on yourself and also try to make your day the best day it can be. Stop watching the news, stop caring about what other people think about you, and do what you want to do and see how that works out for you. Okay, so now you guys are here. Now, before we get started, I do want you to hear Melania Trump's statement. So here we go. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at the New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been calculating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. Now let's just 1 second. So Brad has a good point. You don't see Hillary talking. No, no, you don't. Do you guys want to hear the rest of it? I just wanted to break in here because of what Brad just said, because that is the point right there. Um, no, Hillary is not going to talk. In fact, um, so I don't know, do you guys want to hear the rest of it or not? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down so I know for sure what you guys want to do. Because the beach report is for all of us, including you. So we can just dive in and talk about it. So um, we're talking about how reputations get built and destroyed. Okay, you've heard enough. Okay, good. All right, that's fine. Okay, all right, Brad. Thank you. I actually appreciate that. That's a great answer. Okay. So yesterday, we heard Melania Trump come out and directly denied the long-standing claim that she had any connection to Jeffrey Epstein or that he played any role in introducing her to Donald Trump. Hey, Dr. Sven, you're going to get kicked off if you talk like that. Jill doesn't date. So these rumors about Melania, I started hearing that she was introduced to President Trump by Epstein long time ago. Like, I think the first time I heard it, it was like 2016 or 2017 or something like that. And but the fact is, this rumor has never ever been substantiated because a rumor is not the same thing as a fact, no matter how many times it gets repeated. Here's what people should really be talking about, I think. Was it smart for Melania to respond at all? Because when you're a public figure, you really only have three options when something like this starts circulating. You can ignore it, and most of the time, that is the smartest move. Yeah, Jenny, I agree. Yeah, yeah, creeper's gonna creep. And it looks like Dr. Sven is a big creep, so he's not allowed to talk anymore because he's too rude. Um, do I think AI is self-aware? No, I don't. I don't think AI is self-aware. I think that AI is a machine, and no machines are self-aware. Think about it. That's really not capable. I think no machine is capable of that right now. Not sure what that means, but anyway. Yeah, the only Epstein arrest at this point has been Ghislaine Maxwell, right? And that is disturbing. That is very disturbing. AI is man-made and fallible, super man-made and super fallible. You're right, Yozo. You're right. Yes, I'm old as dirt, John. Are you a baby? Are you 10? Are you even 15? Are you 20? I know. Why don't people mind their business? I think she's been through enough. AI is what people put into it, and that is so true as well. And John Jones is showing us that he's a pig. So thank you for showing us that. The first lady should have left it alone. Maybe, maybe, because a lot of rumors die on their own if they don't get any oxygen, and that's a fact. Another option is you indirectly shut it down by reinforcing what's true without repeating the lie. You don't amplify the accusation, you just strengthen your credibility. Thank you, Yoso. I do not like baking or cooking. I don't do any of that anymore. I used to actually be a baker. I had a birthday cake business. So never doing that again. Of course, and then there's option three, which is what Melania did, direct denial. So I can see a lot of problems with that approach, actually. When you repeat a claim, even in denying it, you reintroduce it to people who maybe never heard it before. So that's a problem. Hey, John, go to OnlyFans or something. Don't talk to me this way. I don't deserve it. You think AI ever thinks of eliminating us because of our mistakes? Well, I've heard that it does, Richard. Heard that it does. But on the other hand, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of people who like to. Okay, so here we see John needs to just be tossed into the intercoastal and swim with sharks because he doesn't have any mom manners. Overwatch, I'm not a liberal or a leftist, I'm a realist. I appreciate that about you. They should go after the groomers in schools that allow children to make up their own gender and not tell the parents. So true, Terry. So true. Good morning. Life is a journey. Happy Friday. Thank you, God, for another day to say to people and spread the love. I am doing well. I hope you are well as well. Yes, exactly, Albert. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I don't put up with rudeness on the beach report. I don't deserve it, and the rest of you also don't deserve it. And I know sometimes people are like, ignore the trolls. I just toss them into the water. But anyway, it kind of like resonates with me, that Melania felt like she had to go out and in front of everybody denounce these lies about her. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate that. I look like I'm from San Diego. Well, no, I'm not. I'm a California girl. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm a Florida girl. I wish they all could be California girls. Oh, thank you, Richard. I'm always happy to see you. And always happy to see you too, Jenny. So anyway, yeah, I think that talking about it probably made it worse. And when I was watching her do this statement, I noticed also that she was reading because her English, she wasn't saying all of her words correctly. She was just kind of like, what was it? There was a word, I don't remember what it was, but let's just say the word was conversation or consequences or something like that. She just kind of skipped over the middle of the words where she would be like conversation, or I don't know. I don't remember what word it was. There were a bunch of words that I noticed. She didn't get them right. And I think it's because she was reading. Yeah, I got my Florida tan. That's right. I love Key West, but I didn't get it in Key West. I get it every day. I take a sun bath every single day that I can. Maybe I can have one today. I'm not sure because it was raining a lot yesterday. What Melania did was a sign of weakness and fear. Well, I don't think I don't think that she was necessarily wrong to do it, but it is definitely a high risk move because the only time the direct denial really works is when the rumor has gone mainstream and silence starts to look like confirmation. Very respectful young lady. I'm not young, Devin. I'm 60. But thank you for saying that. Really, I do really appreciate that. A nice, refreshing page to stop by. I love seeing you kick out the rudeness. You make you feel like a safe space. Oh, Devin, thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Exactly. It is a safe space. Um, the second GTA. What's what's a what's a GTA? I don't know what that is. Anyway. Yes, yes, you are welcome. You're definitely welcome. Thank you guys. I want it to be a safe space for me and for you, by the way. Yeah, we don't know what GTA is. But if you're talking about books, I'm an author. Oh yeah. I'm a journalist, a video game. Okay, don't play video games. My lord, what are you doing with your life? GTA is Grand Theft Auto. It's a video game. I think it's actually a very dangerous video game that will rot your brain. So, what are you doing with your life? Think about it. Where are you going to go? with your future if you are sitting in the basement playing video games. You don't get any sunshine, your eyes are gonna go woo woo woo. You're not gonna be able to see. Yes, and you're exposing yourself to violence and negativity, and you're also not getting anything done. Who is my favorite author and why? I love these questions, Raccoon. So my favorite author, and I have a lot of them, but I'm gonna say John Irving. John Irving wrote books like The World According to Garp, but the best book that he ever wrote, in my opinion, was The Cider House Rules. It's very interesting. I'm doing the same thing we're doing, right? Nothing. I'm not doing nothing. YouTube rots my brain a little bit each day. Pure joy. I'm not going to let it rot your brain on the beach report. We actually learn things on the beach report. Yeah, get back in the basement, Scravis. Actually, I know a genre of video game that you might find particularly enjoyable. It's called the Tentacle. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't play video games anymore, and I am not preaching about the evils of video games because I'm better than you. I am not, and I get stuck in video games, and I have a problem with it, and I literally cannot ever play video games because I will get addicted. I will. I can't play Tetris type games. Minesweeper, forget about it. It literally takes my brain over and it messes with me. And I will lose, I have in the past lost entire days to video games. So this is why I say do not play video games. Like have a goal for your life. Sell them books. You better believe it. Sell them books. Oh yeah. Although this is the old cover. I have a new cover out now. Anyway, oh, thank you, Phoenix. I know you love games. I loved them too. I loved them until I realized that they don't love me. And I think that the video games are actually of the devil. I really do. I think there's demons and they take over and they make sure you get nothing done. And so no, my books are only available on my website, jillbooks.com. Yeah, I loved them until I realized what was going on. Exactly. You know, you live and you learn. And it was not helping my life any to be stuck in front of video games. So yeah, Raccoon, that's good. Anyway, we're talking about The Cider House Rules by John Irving. The thing that I loved about The Cider House Rules was that it was about two things: adoption and abortion. And that was very interesting to me because I was an adopted baby. So reading that book really opened my eyes to a lot of things because it was set in a place where it was an orphanage, and it was like, I think it was in the 50s or something like that. And the women who would come to the orphanage, um it was a doctor who ran it, and he would ask them if they were coming in for an orphan or an abortion. It's a good book. Check it out. Talking about the First Lady's book, I hear it's not doing so well. Well, Overwatch, you also brought up a good point that perhaps she's talking about this to push her book. But I wouldn't think that the First Lady of the United States would have to stoop to kind of a clickbait situation to push a book. You were adopted in 1969, my fellow Gen Generation X traveler. Wow, that's interesting. You know, Dan, I have to make an audiobook so bad. Everybody wants me to read to them. And you know what? If you want, I can read to you an excerpt from one of my books. Pick which one you want to hear. And although I'm kind of partial right now to the 9/11 book because 9/11's coming up. And I think it's important that people understand what happened to our society from 9/11. The best storyteller has to be Hemingway for Raccoon. Hemingway is great. And I love The Old Man and the Sea. That is a great book. Good morning, Insatiable. God bless you as well. So let me know if you guys want to hear me read from my book, but let's go back to talking about the Melania situation, actually. Um, so did Melania pour gasoline onto a situation that might have fizzled away on its own? Now, I think about this because on a much smaller scale, I've experienced it myself. You know, you see people come on the beach report and they make for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. Anyway, you were like the hottest old lady I've seen on YouTube. Okay, thank you, Scravis. But you've heard the people saying like ridiculous things about the way I look, who I am, my career, what I've done. And it's my instinct to jump in and squelch it immediately. You've seen me do it. People be like, "Oh, your teeth are way too white. They must be fake." I'm like, they're not fake. I can prove it. I lost one. I can prove it. Who would buy a pair of the whole full set of fake teeth and have one missing? That would be stupid. No, I was blessed with these teeth and I love them. So they're falling out of my head, but it's just very upsetting. Anyway, Dan, some conspiracy theories are real and some are not. And you have to use your discernment to decide what the truth is. But I do have to say, not every lie deserves your energy. So, I do laugh about the people who say my teeth are fake, and quite honestly, I don't blame them. When I look at my teeth on the show, they look almost too big for my damn mouth. They're very real. But yes, I'm an author. I'm a journalist. I'm also a book publisher. I do everything by myself, and I'm a one-woman show. And these teeth are real until they're not, because if they keep falling out, they're going to be fake. So, don't make fun of people with fake teeth. Not having teeth is a horrible thing. What do you call a room full of hillbillies? A full set of teeth. That's funny, Overwatch. But I'm not a hillbilly. I have something called bruxism, which is where I grind my teeth. And I've heard different reasons for it. Could be I've been through a lot of emotional stuff. I've been doing this since I was a little kid, quite frankly. And I'm lucky that I haven't lost all my teeth yet. I do have nice teeth. I do until they start falling out of my head. So I am very appreciative of the teeth I still have left. I have lost 3 of them so far. And I'll tell you what, if anyone tells you you have bruxism, some people say it's parasites that cause bruxism. I don't want to think about that, but I don't know. I don't know about those parasite cleanse things, but anyway, get a mouth guard. Yeah, it's $500 for the piece of plastic. You put it in your mouth at night, but it might save your teeth. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, sometimes the act of defending yourself gives the lies told about you more life than they ever would have had. And I don't think that, the real takeaway here is not about Melania Trump. And thank you, Scravis. I am wise. I'm old enough to be wise now. I've never seen that movie, Joe. I'm not really a fan of movies. I'm a writer. I'm a reader. I'm a joker. I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight toker. Anyway, um, it's about understanding how misinformation actually works, about being disciplined enough not to help it spread. So when Overwatch said that about Melania looks weak, I'm going to have to agree with you on this one, because I think that her responding to these rumors, it does make her look weak. Here is the overall reaction to her press conference that I looked up with Chat GPT. So, major outlets framed it as an unusually forceful defensive appearance. Coverage from ABC News and CNBC emphasized how rare it is for Melania Trump to speak publicly at all and how sharply she rejected the allegations. Both outlets highlighted her categorical denials that she was not introduced to Donald Trump by Epstein, was not a victim, and had no knowledge of Epstein's abuse. And of course, they all say these things tongue in cheek because you know that she's kind of, I'm sorry, but brought herself into the spotlight in this not very good way. I do wonder why she did this. I really do. And if it's to sell books, then it's kind of crazy because she doesn't need to do this, you know? So, according to the Chat GPT, the media focused heavily on that email that she wrote to Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you think Melania came up through the Paris modeling agency that was to Epstein organization? I believe that is how Trump met her, through Epstein. Well, Raccoon, that's what she says did not happen. So I'm gonna believe her. I mean, that's what she says. That didn't happen. That is what she's fighting about right now. She's she's very angry that people said that about her. Um she should be deported. Why would she be deported? She came here legally, Chris. She followed all the rules. I think people who come here illegally should be deported. I think people who come here from other countries and commit crimes should be deported. Melania didn't do any of those things. You just hate the Trump, so nobody cares what you have to say. Bill, I notice that your lips move but don't line up with what I see, so sounds and video don't match. Nothing I can do about that. I don't know. Do you guys have that problem too? I have been having problems with my sound and my picture this morning. I was so disgusted by her display after watching. I didn't watch any reports or opinions addressing her statement. My opinion is solely based on the address. I was concerned by it too, Overwatch. Honestly, I was. But, of course, I had a kind of different reaction. I have a bit of a visceral reaction just because I have lies told about me all the time and I don't appreciate it. So it felt, it feels a little personal thinking about it, but this isn't personal. It's not even political. It's about your reputation. Okay, so the press was focusing since that. Um, thank you, Gretchen. I know you guys can hear me okay. If my lips aren't matching my words, it's just gonna give people more reason to think I'm AI and yeah, do that. I mean, look, this is what we're talking about. But, I do want my reputation to be that I don't use AI. Well, thank you, Bendel. I am deep. Yes, I am a very deep running stream through the forest. Anyway, yeah, I do feel, I feel for Melania. I feel for the whole Trump family being what they've been put through since President Trump became president. And it's been nonstop, never ending. And they even tried to throw him in jail and, sent the feds into their house, went through her underwear drawer, all of that. Um, maybe she was there, but that doesn't mean that she knew all the stuff. Oh, and then we have the obvious, she's a dude. Okay. There are some people who think everyone is transgender. I don't know about that, but I do wonder about Michelle. So there's that. So I'm not gonna say, but I am sure that Melania is not a dude. Big Mike, however, who knows? Okay, so reporters noted that Melania addressed the now public email exchange with Ghislaine Maxwell, calling it nothing more than polite and casual correspondence. That's the word that she couldn't say, correspondence. She like said correspondence or something like that. That was the one. Hey, Donna. ABC News and CNBC both underscored that this email is one of the documents released by the DOJ and that Melania's remarks appeared aimed at neutralizing its impact. Her call for congressional hearings also drew an immediate political response. Raccoon says, I'm just suspect that she came up through the modeling world, and I am aware of what real business behind the modeling world. If you know, you know. True. You have a point. But I believe she came in on a visa and she doesn't have a bad reputation. She isn't known as somebody who would get on her knees in order to get political favor. There are literally no rumors about Melania Trump other than the rumor that she was introduced to Trump by Epstein. I have never heard anything bad about her. Have you? The stories about her were probably the straw that broke the camel's back, her family being hunted. Yeah, I agree, Gretchen. Her family has definitely been hunted. I'll talk about my books in a minute. But yes, her family was hunted. Her the feds went through her underwear drawer and her son's room, and we know that that upset her greatly. Wouldn't it upset you? I mean, it's awful. She couldn't even look Jill Biden in the face. She's so angry about that, and she has every right to be. And right, my Democrats are rooting for Are you kidding me? Like, what is that? What is that? Remember when they called Soleimani an austere religious leader? And then they just did it again, didn't they? With another terrorist. The despicable. The New York Times, I think they are run by terrorists, honestly. They don't love America. That's very clear. All right, media coverage. The bipartisan reaction was one of the most notable immediate outcomes, according to CNBC, that CNBC had two members of the House Oversight Committee, one Republican and one Democrat, publicly endorsed her call for a dedicated hearing for Epstein survivors. So that was good because I agree with that. Definitely needs to be hearings for the survivors. Hey, Trail Mix, of course I remember you. The left-right paradigm is one of the most powerful weapons ever devised. Overwatch is not wrong about that. Media coverage also noted the timing and the tone. MSN and CNBC both pointed out that the White House offered no explanation for why she chose this moment to speak, and that the tone of her remarks was unusually sharp, even scathing compared to her typical public posture. Yeah, I would say that she seemed pissed, like big time pissed. She really did. Republicans are rooting for Israel, our halal overlords. I'm very disturbed by the whole the hatred for Jews funneled through this whole Israel thing. Growing up Jewish, I've seen anti-Semitism up close and personal. We need Chris Hansen to catch a predator for the Trump family. No, we need that actually for the Biden family. Did you know that Hunter has been on trial lately, Chris, because he's a drug addict and also um a lot of other crimes that I'm not even going to talk about at this point because, you know, alleged and all that stuff. Mike is rooting for Israel. Well, I'm definitely not rooting for Iran. George Carlin was a prophet and an evangelist. You're not wrong about that, Overwatch. I'm glad you're here. You're great. Scravis says, why are all major CEO and business owners Jewish? Because Jews value education and getting somewhere in the world. And some Jews are really good at making money. So I could ask the same about the Indians. Have you noticed all the Indians in America are very wealthy? Um, I could say also about the Chinese. You know, it's if we keep putting people into groups, then we keep devolving into this whole racism thing. You know, not everybody is like this. Not everybody is like that. Not every major CEO is Jewish. It's not a fact. But, you know, yes, there people do they do earn their reputations. I wish the worst imaginable upon American Republicans. Well, you sound like a pleasant person, Yop. Really. Democrats have destroyed our country, honestly. Not yet. All business leaders are not Jewish. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mike. Mark. I'm sorry, Mike. We are all individuals. We are all different. And I really hate it when you keep pushing those groups. So the anti-Semitism is disturbing. And I know, I mean, I grew up Jewish. There are good people and there are bad people. You cannot lump everybody into one group. Oh, you look like this, so you must be like this. Oh, you were raised Jewish, then you must be a business person with bad ethics. You know, like what's wrong with you? Just like, can you not look at people and give them a chance as individuals? Isn't that what Martin Luther King Jr. literally preached? Is the content of your character and not the color of your skin? What was that all about? You keep using the word Jewish. It has nothing to do with being Jewish. You know, Jewish is a religion. I don't think so, Chris. I think most people in America are very sick of Democrats stealing from us all, literally stealing. Democrats are cheaters. Democrats are thieves. Democrats are liars. And I'm going to say all Democrats because this is all I see from Democrats. I have not met a Democrat lately. If you're still carrying water for the Democrat Party, you have not woken up and you might be a criminal. That's all. So yes, I just said that we shouldn't lump all people into the same boat. But when you are shown again and again and again that your party is a party of thieves who would actually back Maduro and the Ayatollah before your own president, you might be a sick person. You might be a person who hates President Trump so much you can't even see straight. The one politician, and President Trump never really was a politician, but he is now the one politician who is actually trying to keep us safe. And you know, it's interesting that he's able to do this because most politicians, actually all of them who have ever led our country, were too chicken to confront a country like Iran. And let's think too about the movie Back to the Future. Remember Back to the Future? And they had that car and they went and had to get uranium, like they had to change the way of the world because the Iranians were using uranium to make a nuclear bomb. That was the premise of Back to the Future. And it was true. They chose Iranians for a reason because we have been terrorized by the Iranian regime for the past, I don't know what, 47 years. 47 years. That's an interesting number now, isn't it? And the 47th president put an end to that. I think it's biblical. I think it's amazing. I think President Trump is the bravest, most amazing president we've ever had in my lifetime. And I'm so sick of watching my country go down the tubes because of Democrats who think we should just give everything away to illegal aliens. who think that we should take care of the lowest form of reprobates in the country instead of the people who do make this country great and the people who grew up here and the people who really care about the United States of America and didn't come here in order to sponge off of us. Because, those so-called refugees, especially the illegal ones, they didn't come here because they love America. They came here because they had heard from their friends that this is a great place to steal because the American people have been very stupid for the past 50 years. Just saying. What do you do about it, though? What do you do about it? Okay, so here's my last point about Melania is that there was no major outlet reporting evidence contradicting her claims. So she said it. The reporting so far is focused on summarizing her denials, contextualizing the release documents, and noting the political ripple effects, not presenting new allegations. So I'm just going to say, on that note, there's no reason not to trust her. Why would she lie? And there's nobody coming out saying, I definitely saw her with Epstein back in the day, and she was, introduced by Epstein to Trump. Nobody, not one person has come out and said that. So I'm thinking that it's really not true. And she probably just had enough. I don't know what it was that pushed her over the edge, but something pushed her over the edge because she is very, very angry. You could hear it in her voice. So something made her think that it was time to do that. I don't know. Anyway, you guys have gone really silent, or, oh, I'm missing all your comments. Like no one's talking. Iran never gives up. That's what you have to believe. Nobody, even Trump, can't do anything about it. Learn history. Well, yes, Mobby, exactly. Well, President Trump clearly knows that Iran never gives up, and he is putting the boot on their necks, and they will not be able to do what they want to do. That's why. Oh, you were talking about my book. I missed it. I gotta look back. What did you guys say? Let's see. I'm so sick of war after war after war. That's why I'm out of the States and happy now. Where are you living, Thomas? Someone supporting Kamala. So stupid. Um, no, Chris, President Trump is not the swamp. I feel sorry for you because you are so backwards. I've seen videos of American women hoping Iran captured our downed airman before we could rescue him. That is despicable and disgusting. How many did Biden kill in our awesome withdrawal from Afghanistan? Good question, Gretchen. Good morning, Aunt Candy. Yeah, the withdrawal from Afghanistan was disgusting. That was the most disgraced withdrawal the US ever had. Exactly. And do you think that Biden did that? The auto pen president, he didn't even know what he ate that morning. He had nothing to do with it. Big head. I'm not on the beach because I was on the beach this morning and I had a horrible reception and the wind was crazy and the waves were wild and it was absolutely beautiful. And I did make a nice video about it. So I will be putting that on a short so you can see what the beach looked like this morning. But I can't be on the beach now because I cannot have a good discussion with y'all. So I hope you don't mind. I know it's the beach report. Raccoon says, I've been a lifelong reader and I want to ask you about the younger generations that don't read other than texts and not books. Yes, Raccoon, that is a horrible problem. Mason's at a beach house right now. Whatever, Joseph. Hi, John Roberts. I know. I know you do. If you live in the UK right now, you are in bad, bad way. Keir Starmer, he doesn't care anything about the English people. Um, I can smell my hair. Smells a little bit like the ocean. Dems will make the US a world leader again. You're the one who loves Kamala, right? Yeah, that's funny. Is it a beach hunt? You ought to do a beach report from all around the world beaches. Well, I live in Florida, so I can only do Florida beaches. I do not have a spaceship, and I can't rocket myself all over the world. I don't even want to. I love Florida. I'll show you all the Florida beaches. This morning I took you guys to Gulfstream Park, which is one of my favorite beaches on the East Coast. And unfortunately, you couldn't hear me, then the picture was crap, and so here I am with controlling everything. There's no weather, there's Wi-Fi. I don't have to worry about the sound. So yeah, I don't have to hunt for the beach. I know exactly where it is. I have lots of good beaches that I like to go to. Let's see. What else? What else are we talking about here? Because I do want to talk about my first book. I'll show it to you from the front. Look at this. So this is the first book I ever published. It's not the first book I wrote, it's the first book I published, like it was yesterday, a journalist's file since 9/11. It won an award. And the reason that I wrote this book is because I was concerned, just like Raccoon is saying, that not only do children not read anymore, but they also don't even know about 9/11. It really wasn't being taught in schools. I'm not saying all schools didn't teach it, but most of them not. And one of the reasons that the schools don't talk about 9/11, or at least haven't since it happened, is because it happened like in the first, eh, for some people, like the first couple of weeks of school, and the teachers don't know their students. So talking about something that is so emotional for the teacher, not the students, because they may not even know about it, but something emotional like that is hard for teachers to talk about at the beginning of the year, and they don't know the students. Don't ask me why, but that is one of the things I've learned in my research, is that the timing of 9/11 is not really conducive to the teaching of 9/11, which is kind of weird. Anyway, I wrote this book. I wanted to use it as a way of opening up the discussion between parents and kids. And I think children need to know what happened on 9/11 and how it changed our society. Overwatch says 9/11 rattled my cage. That is when I realized just how evil is and who is capable of it. Same, same. Here, I'm going to read you an excerpt from my book, which half of it is a diary that I wrote, stream of consciousness, right after 9/11. This was Friday, September 21st, 2001. I'm sick of reporters telling us every little detail about how easy it is to infiltrate our airlines and our airports. Nightline, Dateline, 48 Hours, PBS specials, they all keep focusing on how much at risk we are, how vulnerable we are in our freedom. I wonder, if it's so easy to attack us, why hasn't it happened before? Not like it happened, you know what I mean? Okay, maybe that's the wrong question, because it certainly has happened before. But how many evil plots have been thwarted? I keep hearing about a millennium plan to destroy the festivities in Seattle with bombs, but the event proceeded peacefully and uneventfully in Seattle and all over the world. That was the year 2000, by the way. How stupid is it to broadcast our weakness to the very people who wish to do us harm? No, I know who you're talking about, Overwatch. Will the information age bring about our undoing? Wow, I'm going to say yes. Then again, consider the mighty cell phone for a moment. What a helpful invention that turned out to be. Who needs a black box recorder when every third passenger is sure to have a wireless on hand? Oh, don't forget, this is 25 years ago that I wrote this. The younger generation don't understand the event, but more importantly, how this country came together in the months afterwards. That's what my book is about, Gretchen, as you know. In the news. This is in the news. This is January, I'm sorry, what was the date again? Friday, September 21st. So this is literally like the before the even month is even out after it happened. All right, in the news, there's been a shooting in Detroit of a federal agent, possibly tied to the trials of three suspects in the bombing, which was apparently taking place right across the street. Something else that's been bothering me, KDKA News last night kept talking about Operation Infinite Justice, which was rumored to be the code name for rooting out terrorism. However, the word infinite has certain religious godlike implications. As such, would be quite a provocative tone to Muslims. Infinite justice is not the code name for the reasons I just put forth, and it was irritating to hear it said on the local news without first being verified. Tonight, there's going to be a huge benefit concert to raise money for the victims of the disaster. Already, billions of dollars have been raised in response to the crisis, and Americans are being urged to open their wallets and donate as much as they can. Even at school today, all the kids were told to donate at least $1 to a fund for the United Way and wear a hat to show their solidarity and patriotism. The day after the bombing, callers on the radio morning shows kept asking that everyone put Old Glory out, the flag. And it looks like the 4th of July in every neighborhood, every city. There are, of course, the odd house or two devoid of flags. And I find myself resenting those people who think they're too dignified to show their support in such a small yet vocal way. I even found myself wondering about the house down the street, where I'd noticed last year that an Indian family had moved in. They don't display any flags, and I can't believe the things I'm thinking about them because of it. It makes me ashamed, but I can't help feeling frightened. The large number of airplanes flying over my house this afternoon has been freaking me out. It's surely not possible, but it seems like there's more planes now than ever before. And they're low flying too. I can often see what airline is invading my airspace as I glare at every big fat mechanical bird that passes overhead. Airplanes are totally creeping me out. Who you talking to, Georgia? Oh wow. Everyone's really hating on me right now for reading this that I wrote by myself. No AI whatsoever. This is actually before AI was even invented when I wrote this book. So you can't claim that I used AI to write it because I sure as hell did not. Stewart says even Congress voted recently to not expose the payouts to accusers by congressmen. That I find sad and telling. Also, Stewart, you're right. Um, I know. You better dance. I'm dancing. I'm dancing with no music. I know, Element. They're telling me my voice and lips aren't matching. I'm having problems with YouTube right now. They're messing with my feed. My comments are like you can't understand me. The picture was bad when I went to the beach this morning. I don't know what's going on. I just know that YouTube has a problem because I don't have this problem on Facebook. So there's that. I don't know. I'm trying to do an informative show for you guys, and I can't help it. Donna says I noticed that too, but that's because YouTube is having a problem. Yesterday, yeah, I couldn't even go live. The sound was horrible when I was trying to record a band. So, yeah, I don't want to fight anybody. You go fight yourself, okay? I'm a lover, not a fighter. And I don't even want to do that. So the YouTube sucks when it comes to our fellow conservatives. Raccoon knows. Yeah. Yeah. I don't care about you people. You liars. Anyway, some good comments left while you were reading. Oh man. Remember also that's our money they're paying out. The government doesn't make money, they print it. Exactly. Hey, Joseph. But it really is interesting. Do you remember right after 9/11? Were you creeped out by airplanes in the sky? I know I was. And boy, everybody's hating Trump. It's sad. You only hate him because the TV told you to do that. You wouldn't hate him if you knew what he was really doing. Don't worry, Don. They can never stop me. All the trolls in the world can't bring me down. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more from my book. Oh, Joseph, you were there when the towers went down. Susan, no fear here. Thank you. I'm the same. All right. The presentation of our lives has been underway for 2 hours now, and Willie Nelson's singing America the Beautiful. I wrote this at 11 o'clock at night as the ultimate ending to an unbelievable show. No, it was more than a show. It was a collection of our country's best and brightest stars making the most creative, touching plea for an end to terrorism, an end to hate, an end to intolerance. We are a generation sobered by the reality that we are living in a world where evil is lurking, just like you said. You hope to make a country of victims, but instead you made a country of heroes. Not anymore, was one message that brought home to me the fact that every generation must establish itself and do its duty to attempt to eradicate the evils that dwell in some men's souls. Good morning, used. How old are you, Scott? 15? Perhaps it's a rite of passage that each generation must experience a world war. Maybe it's just a part of growing up and taking responsibility for our own generation's unique position in history. I know, Don. No respect. Anyway, yeah, YouTube needs to do an update because voice and video is not syncing. And this is not my fault. I don't know why. I don't know why. Yes, I'm 60. I'm old as dirt. I'm okay with it. The alternative is not anything I want. So, anyway, I haven't had a really good cry in the past 2 days, but tonight I broke down, blubbering along with Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and finally admitting to myself that that is what they've done to New York City, and it's broken my heart. I am draining myself of tears as the concert puts names and faces on the people who perished in the 9/11 attacks. There was no escaping this concert. It was on every other television station and it dominated the radio. The message of peace and of hope and of determination to put an end to hate and terrorism and reckless destruction reached out to American citizens and spread its musical wings throughout more than 60 countries around the world. Oh, you're a boomer used to. My channel's the only one doing it. Oh, that's great. When you're weary, feeling low, when tears are in your eyes, I'll dry them all. I'm on your side. Oh, when times get by and friends just can't be found like a bridge over troubled waters. There are some talented Jews. Why can't we just call them people? Why do we always have to give everyone a damn label? I want to sing that song. I need the words though. I don't know them all, just off the top of my head. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. How typical of the Americans to use their creativity to let the whole world know that we cannot stand for this despicable behavior. Dan Rather started sobbing on Letterman and made them cut to commercial, but we all saw his pain, his devastation at being forced to talk about it every minute of his life. Right, Overwatch. Um, and then there was Lisa Beamer, the wife of the man Todd, who rolled over the terrorists with a bunch of the most courageous passengers in history. She looked positively bewildered at the unexpected turn her life has taken with the death of her husband in such a heroic way. God, I am so thankful to those dudes, all American boys who fully grasped the desperate situation at hand and fought the very first battle of World War III, forcing the plane down into a Pennsylvania field and sparing the lives of God knows how many. That's one of the reasons why I felt compelled to pay my condolences at the crash site. I am grateful to them beyond belief. The other reason was because I could. Susan knows. Living in Switzerland for 8 years taught me to really appreciate my American birthright. It wasn't that I hated Switzerland, quite the opposite. I learned to love my adopted homeland and felt honored when they bestowed the Swiss passport upon me. It was like I had passed the final test, and when I returned to Basel as an American tourist, I'm treated like an honored guest. I'm not going back there, by the way. Yet I spent all those years just missing America. Hearing patriotic songs has moved me to tears ever since I left my country in 1990. You know what? I don't think we need to hear from this person who clearly hates our country. And then Damien, who also doesn't know how to behave in public. Anyway, this is my book. Patriot knows. Yeah, I do. I try not to let these crazy people get to me at all. They don't get to me. It's just annoying. All right, you guys. Is there anything else you would like to talk about before I get back to my regularly scheduled life? You know why? Because President Trump is the president, behave. That's why people associate the United States with the president. So I think you have lost some brain cells with your TDS. I don't know what's wrong with you. Anyway, yeah, don't be rude, Damien, okay? I'm not here for you to abuse. Anyway, all right, you guys. Well, I am going to say, see, Damien cannot be trusted. You are a pig and you need to be hidden. So rude. Anyway, thank you, Devin. Wait, Devin said something good. Don't get rid of Devin. It was nice to meet a gentle Floridian with good spirits. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your day, Devin. Devin, not Damien. Behave still loves Kamala. Tells us a lot about you, Behave. That's pretty funny. Um, but yes, should always be America first. I think that's just a bot or something, or was bot. Somebody paid that Behave to say that for sure. Cackles. It was pretty funny. But yes, America first. And I am certainly waiting for the day when we Americans feel like we are being put first, because even now, everything President Trump is doing, thank you, Overwatch. Everything President Trump is doing is securing our country and making the world a safer place. And yes, it's difficult for us to still face facts of even, our gas prices, they are going up. Yes, I got the crazy eyes. I know. Why are you here watching me with my crazy eyes? Be gone. Peace and love to you too, Susan. Yes, like and subscribe, please. Sanity and common sense is a rare commodity these days. For sure. For sure it is. But you know, that's why I do the beach report. is because I do want to hear from people with common sense and sanity. And I almost forgot. Here's something I really want to talk about with you guys and see what you think about this one. So, I'm going to be a grandmother next month, which I'm super excited about. However, the big thing these days with newborn babies is that the parents want everyone who's going to be near the baby to get a vaccine. And no, not the COVID vaccine, because it definitely wouldn't do that. I'm pure blood to the end. But it's the Tdap vaccine, tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis. They're claiming that they cocoon the family when there's a newborn infant with everybody gets this Tdap vaccine. Of course, I am being subjected to this request, and I don't really want to do it. But I have been looking into what's in the Tdap vaccine. Of course, there's disgusting things like formaldehyde and aluminum. Do I want to inject that into my body? I really do not. Hey, Edmund. I know the audio's out of sync, Daniel. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Susan says, no way I would. Yeah, YouTube has audio issues. I don't know why, but it's hurting my show, everything. I don't know what to do about it. Anyway, maybe don't look. Overwatch says don't do it. So when I research it, I don't come up with like anything super scary. Like it does look like it says the side effects are rare, of course. And the one thing that is really scary to me is that Guillain-Barré syndrome, but they're saying that that's not really a risk. And I'm just like, is this the hill I want to die on? Because, hi, John, I want to meet my baby grandchild so badly. Like I've been waiting my whole life to meet this person. And if I'm not allowed to come near this child because I don't want to get this vaccine, I just don't know. I don't know if that's the hill I want to die on. One thing I have about the Dems, I don't know what you mean. I can tell you I don't like the Dems because they lie and cheat behave. That's why. Because President Biden was an illegitimate president who used an auto pen, and Kamala was an illegitimate candidate. So I don't really think I don't want to have to explain all this to you behaves. Um, the reason I don't hate anybody, but I definitely have no love for the Democrats who have stolen the money of me and all the rest of my fellow Americans and continues to lie, cheat, and steal. So this is why I don't like the Democrats. I don't need one reason. I have many reasons. If you do get it, do a detox after and detox baths. Susan, thank you for saying that, and I will look into that as well. Donna says I should still on my phone and said, look at Jill. And she started walking to the front door. I said, no, 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 come back here. That's pretty funny. Raccoon didn't get the jab either. George says, I have a serious side effect from drinking whiskey. Well, that makes sense. Gretchen says, our chats are just one of the fun things we do. There's sunrises, sunsets, live concerts, walks through the Everglades, and live streams of White House events. That's true. And there's going to be even more when I head up north. And we will get to different beaches along the East Coast. I have some beaches that I really want to see this summer. One of them is Chincoteague Island. I've never been there. I want to see those wild horses. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. This house has really good acoustics if I sing. I was born a coal miner's daughter in a cabin on a hill in Butcher Holler. We were poor, but we had love. That's the one thing my daddy made sure of. We shoveled coal to make a poor man's dollar. In the summertime, we didn't have shoes to wear, but in the wintertime, we'd all get a brand new pair. From a mail order catalog, money made from selling a hog. Daddy always managed to get the money somewhere. I love Stewart and Sewell's Point Overwatch. That's some awesome places. Yep. That's one of my favorite places to go. Oh, look, Behave even hates my voice. Why are you here? Behave, did you ever realize that you just literally have a hate in your heart for people you don't even know, and maybe that's not so good for you? You know, you've been watching this whole time, making comments and everything, and yet you hate the sound of my voice. It says something about you that you would subject yourself to watching someone you hate so much. Doesn't make any sense, does it? I think you might be having fun. You're having fun on the beach report, aren't you? All right, you guys. So, I do appreciate the fact that maybe I could get a detox bath or something if I do take that vaccine. Bathtub beach, baby. You know it, Overwatch. It's the best. Guess my Republican voice. I'm actually conservative. I don't really like the Republicans. I think they are a weak-kneed and really feckless, especially the rhino Republicans, you know, Republican in name only. They're the worst. So I hear you. I hear you. Oh, one more thing I would like to talk about before we go is the fact that there are several Republican voices who have turned against President Trump so hard that I got to wonder who the hell are they talking to? Who's paid them off? Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, um, who's another one? MTG. Wow, that woman. Somebody's definitely paying her to say things. I don't know. I saw many years ago, there's this woman named, she called herself Paloma for Trump, and she hated MTG like with a vengeance. And I thought she was crazy, but now I'm thinking maybe that was a real thing. Jasmine, you're here. You're right. Both parties are hollow shells. You're right, Overwatch. And I always wonder, why can't we just put normal people in office? You know, people who actually care about their communities. I don't know, because people get corrupted so easily. They have a charcoal patch. Had some friends use it after the job. All right, Gretchen, I'm going to look that up. I really thank you for that, because like I said, I don't want to be the only grandparent not allowed to see this baby. That is going to kill me, honestly. I'm not going to like it. Hey, Heidi. Uh, yeah, I'm disappointed in her too, Overwatch, but I just think she's got to be a sellout from the way that she behaves now. I am in Boca Raton today, and that little doggy's been so good. He hasn't said one thing since I've been doing my show. Yes, I am dog watching again, and I think she should have stayed in the fight. I think she's got bigger issues. I don't know what else to say about it. Anyway, yeah, you guys keep reminding me of stuff I want to talk about. Going to Boca next winter. Well, Boca's beautiful, and there are some great beaches here. MTG stayed exactly 10 years to get all of her pension. Yeah. Overwatch grew up in Lantana. That's also beautiful. It's gorgeous here in Florida. Blocking you like I do with every single one of your conservatives I come across. Good. Oh, good. Bye. Glad you're finally blocking me. We didn't enjoy you. Where's the closest beach? Well, that's the thing about Florida is you have to find the good beaches to go to, because sometimes it's really difficult to find a beach where that's not private. So you have to look for the good places. So I was at Gulfstream Park Beach. Yeah, celebrate. Behave is gone. Overwatch worked at Abbey Del Rey Retirement Facility when I was a young man. Wow, working in a retirement facility has got to be very, it's either I think it's a respectable thing to do, taking care of old people in Boca. Okay. Yeah, Boca is in the mouth. It's the mouth of the rat, the Boca Raton. What a name for a place, huh? Yes, I was here the whole time. All right, you guys, let's see. Is there something else that we need to talk about before I go? You know, I do show up every single day. Every single day for the past 11 years, I've done the beach report every single day. I know, Heidi. I'm having audio problems with YouTube. It started happening last night, and it is very, very disturbing for you guys. I don't see it because I'm doing the live show, but I'm really sorry about it. There's nothing else I can do. Yeah, YouTube has audio issues. I don't know why. You have a good day too, Susan. Always wonderful to see you. All right, you guys. Well, I am going to say ciao for now. Again, I'm sorry that the thing isn't syncing. So now the haters are really going to think I'm AI, right? Oh well, what can you do? All right, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Ciao for now.